So you know how it is when you're writing, when you're really in the zone. You're tapped in and all your focus is just on the story you're telling. When you're in that zone, I think of it as the garden of creation, the zone. When you're in that zone, there's really no good and bad. There's no right and wrong. There's just what belongs in your story and what doesn't. That's it. Anything that belongs in your story is good. And anything that doesn't, it isn't even bad. It just doesn't belong in the story. There's no right and wrong. I like that. And it's really true, creatively, that there isn't right and wrong. What a sentence or an idea that belongs in my story might not belong in yours. Doesn't make it a bad idea, bad sentence. It just either belongs in the story or it doesn't. Okay, so that's creativity. Oh, it feels good. It feels good to have no right and wrong. It does. It feels good to it feels good when only you know what belongs and what doesn't. Yeah, that feels good too. Then, then there's the rest of life. And unfortunately, we humans in the rest of our life, we do think a lot about right and wrong and good and bad. For a lot of obvious reasons, people are doing all kinds of things that really hurtful to them, hurtful to other people. People get angry, people get scared, people get confused. They do a lot of things that we call wrong, we call bad. And so in the world at large, there often is a lot of talk of good and bad and right and wrong. And unfortunately, with all that talk of right and wrong and good and bad, it's very easy for people, and I think just about everyone, to wonder if they're good enough, where they land on that spectrum of good and bad and right and wrong, you know? And I think it is one of the most common misconceptions of our own selves that we have the question that maybe, are we good enough? Are we good enough? I wrote a book called Everyone Has What It Takes. It's a question that haunts a lot of artists. Do I have what it takes? And this question of are we good enough? Is there something wrong with us? We often try to answer through some kind of accomplishment. Maybe it's getting married. Maybe it's losing weight. Maybe it's publishing a book. Maybe it's getting on the bestseller list. Maybe it's getting on the Tonight Show. Whatever. Something that if we do it, then we'll know. If we win the race, then we know. If we publish the book, then we know. Get married, date that person, whatever. It's the most common formula humans come up with to decide whether they're okay. Got to prove it. Because we've all decided there's right and wrong and good and bad, okay and not okay. So where do we land in that? It's lethal. And if you really want to live creatively, which I do, and by the way, I've fallen for that nonsense. Oh God, have I ever? It's so addictive, that view of ourselves. If you really want to live creative, you got to let go of the idea that you got to prove something about yourself. You have to achieve something to know, to prove to yourself, to other people, whatever, whoever, it doesn't matter, that you're okay. You got to create like you're already okay. You got to live as much as you can like you write when you're in the zone, when there's no right and wrong or good or bad. There's just what belongs in your life and what doesn't. What's a fit for your life and what isn't. And only you know the answer to that. There's nothing wrong. But if there's something wrong with you, well, maybe you don't know the answer. If there's nothing wrong with you, but there's just a question of what you doing? Are you doing things that belong in your life? Are your action and choices, are they in alignment with your life and what you want or not? You feel like you're wrong sometimes. Like when you're trying to write a story, it's not a story you want to write. You feel like a bad writer. When you try to lead a life that's really not meant for you, you'll feel like there's something wrong with you. Try to be a nuclear physicist, but you want to be a ballet dancer. You feel like, what's wrong with me? Nothing. Nothing. How do you live if there's nothing wrong with you? How would you live if there's nothing wrong with you? It's a question worth asking. And one of the ways you're going to have to answer it, if you really want to answer the answer being nothing, there's nothing wrong with me, you have to grant that to other people too. It's not easy. You see them doing all kinds of crazy stuff. I know. I know. But it doesn't mean there's something wrong with them. Just like if you were trying to be a nuclear physicist instead of a ballet dancer, they would look like there was something wrong with you. And there's a lot of people trying to be things they're not, trying to prove things that don't need to be proved, looking for satisfaction where it doesn't exist. We've all done it. And so if you want to live from a place of knowing you're okay, just like when you read books that you don't like, just because you don't like them doesn't mean they shouldn't have been written. There's a lot of books I don't want to read. I even interview the writers. They're just not my cup of tea, but I interview the writers, and it's so clear the books are right for them. So they should be written. Same for you. Let them lead their lives. Go ahead and let them lead their lives, but you lead yours because there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing. Just a question of what belongs in your life and what doesn't. And only you know the answer to that. Yes, indeed. It's true. Hey, thanks for tuning in. As always, if you don't want to miss any, just, subscribe. You know how it works. And if you like it, say so. Say so. It helps other people find it when you do that. Plus, you get your voice heard. And I respond because I'm that kind of a guy. So until next week, this is Bill Kenower. Stay fearless.